Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Vancouver Rain Draft Glory franchise mode here in MLB The Show 23. So in last episode, we pretty much just got rid of the rest of the season. Like, we didn't really care, obviously, since it's a Draft of Glory. We also finished through the offseason. We had, like, the Rule 5 draft and whatnot, which Rule 5 draft, obviously, is not super important, at least at this stage yet, but we did take this Ronaldo Hernandez guy. He's a B potential guy, but he's already 26 and 65 overall, so he's probably not going to be a huge player for us. But obviously, I would still like to draft some catchers for the future. I also did, after I recorded last episode, did what you guys mentioned and set up the rosters properly. So guys like Cardenas, Howe, Schneider, and in our later round picks like Gelman, Hoffman, and who was the other one? Bill O'Donnell. They're all going to be playing in Double A this season, so I'm very excited to see what those guys do because obviously we get to see the Double A stats and all that type of thing. I also put a bunch of random players down in Triple A, and our roster has been set to being as bad as it possibly can be. Hopefully, some of our younger guys, like Garth Howe, for example, get some good growth down there in Double A, and eventually maybe they could be in Triple by the end of the season. If they're not good enough by then, obviously they could be in Triple A as early as next season, which would be pretty awesome. So anyways, before we get into starting up the season simulation and scouting out a bunch of players for this upcoming draft, I do have a couple of comments to go over. So the first one is from It's Dawn. He says, "Thanks for the shout out, man, and keep in mind you don't have to add them to your 40 man immediately. I like to develop them a bit more before their option starts. After 3 call-ups, that's it, versus waiting 2 to 3 years and then adding them and still have 3 options with 2 years of development." So yeah, I realized that when I had to send down those guys that it did take one of their player options away, so we only technically have 2 more options with these guys before they'll actually start going through waivers when we send them down. So yeah, we definitely should not be adding prospects to our 40-man roster as soon as we draft them. So from now on, anybody that I draft will not be added to our 40-man roster until they are actually MLB ready, and that way we can kind of utilize those options as best as possible. The next comment is from Yo Blake, who says, "I'd suggest starting most of the 18-year-olds with good potential in single A." So if any of these players that we drafted, like Ozzy Cardenas, for example, are really struggling in double A, we could always send them down to single A. But single A, I feel like single A is kind of like an unused thing in this because it doesn't matter how much players you have in single A. Double A, it actually starts to matter because they don't have the rights to the single A teams, I'm pretty sure. So to me, I just feel like it's much better to have them in double A. But if they're underperforming, I could always send them down to single. And I was also talking to Nick Bacher-Barons OC, and he said Ozzy Cardenas has a higher ceiling than you might think, to be honest. He has a solid MLB starter written all over him, a good contact bat with a solid power and discipline. His skill set is already solid, so he should be at least a platoon bat for a large majority of the start. So yeah, Cardenas is definitely really exciting. I didn't realize how good of a player he was, but like his contact hitting obviously is above average. He's definitely really good at that, but he's also got some decent other stats, like his durability. Obviously, that's kind of important because that means he's not going to be getting injured super much. His fielding is pretty solid. His accuracy is not that great, and his arm's not great. So I think that's where we're going to assign him for some training, try and get him to being a better fielder in a sense, because I don't think we're going to get that power so much up there, but we could always make him a better power hitter as well if we want to. His reaction is really good. His speed and stuff like that isn't the best either, so he's not going to be a guy that steals bases for us, but at least he has that really good contact hitting, and that's very crucial to kind of have in a lineup in a sense, because you don't always need power hitters. You sometimes just need guys that can put the ball in play and bring in some runs, and Cardenas might be that type of guy for us. So there is that. And I was also, when I was talking with Nick, he was mentioning about potentially basically, I think what was it? There was like scouting a specific position, he was saying, and it gives you information on multiple people. The only thing with that is I feel like we don't have enough time to scout out everybody. So if we use like a couple weeks to scout out more players for a position, we won't be able to scout out a lot of those players we just kind of like found out about. So I would rather pretty much just scout individual players for the series. But if you guys think there's other options that we could do for scouting, and you kind of give me a really good reason why we should do that, let me know, and maybe I will start scouting a different way. But I think scouting individual players kind of helped us a little bit because we found some really good gems in the last draft that we had. But anyways, that is that. Yeah, let's assign our training first before we forget. If I'm not mistaken, we could already do that. I think. Where do I have to go again? Roster? No, it's not that. I think it might be training. Yeah, it's training right here. Okay, so they want to get Cardenas better at power, but to be honest, I would rather him maybe get better in terms of his arm and his accuracy, because he's a first baseman. It's kind of important. It's not actually that important, to be honest. So have him set to power. I would maybe send him to arm and accuracy right now, for now. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to send him to, but if you guys think power hitting is more important for him, let me know. I could always assign him to power hitting in the end of next episode or at the beginning of next episode. Garth Howe, his pitching clutch, I feel like his hits per 9 should be better. Yeah, I feel like maybe address these 4. His hits per 9, his Ks a 9, his base on balls a 9, and his home runs a 9. Yeah, I think that would be better for him for now. His pitching clutch and stuff like that obviously needs to be important too, in his control. So eventually we'll have him training in that area. But for now, let's put him in that. Steve Schneider. His power hitting is already pretty good, but it would be nice to get it better even. His discipline and stuff like that definitely needs to improve, so we'll leave it on that. Who else we got here? All the way down here on the bottom of the list, we have... Wow, we have so much players in the system. Fletcher Hoffman. What's his thing right now? Vision, discipline, and clutch. Let's try and get him to be a better contact hitter as well, maybe. Yeah, let's get him working on contact hitting a little bit. Gelman. Yeah, maybe getting better at the outfield, because he's an outfielder. He needs to have a good arm. That's something I think is important for him. And his fielding needs to be good too. So let's do some, yeah, his arm and accuracy for now. For like this first bit of the season. And probably same with Bill O'Donnell, because since they're outfielders, they definitely need to work on those areas, because they're going to be throwing it up to the to the infield, right? So I think that's the most important thing for them to work on for now. Okay, so all those guys are assigned. Let me just make sure that I actually assign that training, because I don't know if it changes it afterwards. No, it doesn't. Okay, good. Okay, so that is good. Let's see this for a second. Yeah, this is not important. So let's go through spring training here first and see what spring training is all about. Obviously, I sent all those guys down. We don't have the minimum amount of positional players on our roster. What do you mean? Didn't I like have a player from each position? How much do I need here? Maybe I need to call up some more outfielders. I don't even know. I don't want them to call up another one of our prospects, so I actually have to decide on this. This is the annoying thing with the MLB, in my opinion. I just call up a random player, like Glenlyn. He was up here last season. Is that enough to continue, or what? Just want to make sure we have enough players. Sim through date. Still don't have enough players. We don't have a valid pitching rotation, so we need to... Let me just put in some pitchers. I don't really care if they're starters or not. There you go. That should get it done, right? Or do I have to call up pitchers is what it's saying. We don't have valid 4 lineups. Let's just auto-fix our lineups. That shouldn't call up anybody from the system. It just... There you go. Really bad spring training, of course. Let me just make sure that the guys are still in the right spots. Okay, yeah, it doesn't call up anybody, just auto adjust the lineups, which is good. So there we go. We are now into the regular season, and now in a few days we'll be able to start scouting out some prospects. So I'm very excited to see what there is potentially out there, because I honestly don't know what we're going to go after. I think we're going to probably just go at positions we don't have players for, or we could just kind of build up like our pitching and stuff like that. Just whatever we find out there, we're pretty much going to take. Anything that's really good, we're going to take. So there is that. Let's advance a few days into the season, into our scouting. We should be able to scout after these days. The AAA team doesn't have the right amount of pitchers on their roster. Okay, let me sign a random pitcher then. Okay, that's the notification things are really annoying me. There's just too much of them. Okay, let me go here. And we will go to, is free agent still available? Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's get ourselves just a random starting pitcher for down there in triple. So Ty Rivera, there you go. Thank you for the deal. We will move you up to triple A. Rivera, there he is. We'll move you to, oh, you're already in triple, perfect. So that should be enough for triple A to start their season now, right? They don't have the right amount of positional players now. God damn it. This is the only thing with the draft glory is you have to make sure you have the right amount of players in each league. So we need another positional player. Let's just grab a random outfielder. Yeah, probably somebody like you, right? Yeah, let's just take you. Franco. Let's just make sure he's on triple to start off. Yes, he is. Perfect. Okay, that's good. Wait. Did it just call up one of my younger guys again? No, it didn't. Okay, it was Glenelyn Hall that I saw. I was concerned that it randomly called up one of our prospects like O'Donnell. We still don't have the minimum amount. Holy crap. This is annoying. This is very annoying. Let's just claim another player in the outfield. You got potential. You don't have potential. Rufus White, welcome to AAA. What a name. Okay, now let's see if we can get through this. They still don't have enough players in AAA. Well, this is friggin' annoying. Sorry about this long start to an episode, but man. Yeah, I'll just tame this Becker guy since he's dropping off. Welcome to AAA, sir, as well. Everybody, welcome to AAA. And it still apparently does not have enough players. God damn. God damn. Let's get somebody in the infield this time. Like this green guy. There you go. Welcome to triple. Unless some of these guys aren't getting called up to triple. Yeah, I think some of these guys aren't getting even called up to triple. I'm going to go to second base. No, he got called up to triple. Wow. We were really under players. But that's okay. Let's just bring in another random player for the infield. Wow, you have 8 potential. I'm not bringing you in. Even though you probably won't reach that potential. I don't want anybody with potential here. Thank you. Let's see what we got now. Still not. Holy crap. I am really sorry about this. This is going to be a little bit of a longer episode just because of this part. I really didn't expect us to need this much players in in AAA, but apparently we did. B potential, A potential. Get out of here with your potentials. There you go. D potential. Robert Daniels, welcome to triple. Okay, is that enough finally? Yep, that's enough. We'll auto fix the lineups. There we go. Now we can finally set our scouting assignments after signing 5 million players for AAA. Okay, this is where it's going to get interesting. We have 13.39 million in a bonus allotment, which is huge because obviously we are going to be having, I think, probably the first overall pick in this year's draft, likely. Oh boy. Alonso, I think. Yeah, we need to remove Alonso. Was he one of our scouts last year? I don't think so. Maybe we had a scout retire in the offseason. Let me just go advance. Yeah, okay, perfect. So let me go back to our scouting stuff first. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a longer episode again. I apologize about that, but it is what it is. We got to go to scouts because Daryl Alonso is not a good scout. So we must have had a scout retire, I guess, or somebody just dropped off a lot. So we already have a scout that's good for 2 good positional player ones. Kurt Garcia is good at both. I prefer somebody that's good at both as well on this guy. We could only go up to a max of 99,000, which means we could only go to probably Valenzuela would be our best bet. He's good at pitchers as well. His efficiency is good. His discovery is good. Anybody else better at pitchers? Yeah, okay, we might actually go for Michael MacArthur instead because, yeah, that pitcher 96 is really good. So I just want to make sure to lock down somebody that's really good at pitching. So we'll do Michael MacArthur. So MacArthur, I only write this down. MacArthur is pitch, and then Trowbridge is still going to be a positional players. So pause, and Garcia is going to be pause as well. / pitching. Okay, there we go. Now we got that set up. Now we can actually scout out some players. So, Michael MacArthur, let's see what you got for pitchers. Let me just go to each type of pitcher first. Or do we want to go MLB rank? Let's go MLB rank. I don't want to scout out a closer that early on. Actually, I could always scout out a closer early on. This guy's 21 already, but still. Let's scout out this top-rated closer. He's potentially the best player in the draft, so we'll see if he actually is that type of guy. And then we will assign Trowbridge to a positional player. There is supposed to be a shortstop early on. I want to scout out some 18-year-olds, though. Mainly. 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 That's what I'm trying to say. Man, I can't talk today. Yeah, a lot of pitchers in this early part of the draft, so we definitely got to do our due diligence on those and find the best pitcher possible because we're going to have a very early pick. It looks like number 3, but we are in the draft lottery situation as well where we could move up, I think. So there is a catcher. We'll scout out him, Bryant McDaniel. And we will go to the next prospect that is an infielder or something like that, or outfielder. Jerome Jimenez. He might have a really high overall. That's interesting. You know what? Let's get him out. We don't necessarily need another outfielding prospect at the moment, but we already got 2 of them. But if this guy's a good starting one, he could end up being... Like, this guy could end up being good in playing left side as well and center field. But we'll scout him out, and we'll see what these guys are looking like in a week. Hopefully our scouts do a decent job. Oh, apparently AA needs more players now too. Let's go to free agents and sign some players for AA now. God damn it. We need more positional players. Let's just sign a bunch of random meh. We'll sign you. And that's Franco on first base. We'll sign you, Chan, on first base as well. And let me send you guys both down to AA. Yeah, you guys are going down to double. There you go. That hopefully should be enough players now in double. Yep, it is perfect. Scouting assignments. What do we got? What do we got? 50% scouted. These guys are still looking decent. Jimenez ain't looking good, though. He might actually have a really high starting overall, though, which is interesting. So I think I'm going to still scout him out just because his potential might not be the highest, but he might have a good overall. And then you have McDaniel, who looks like he could be a project-type player, but he also could be a solid player for catchers. And then Herschel Belanger, who looks like he's going to have a high overall and a high ceiling potentially. So we'll see if he ends up being the unanimous #1 pick. Let's go through another week and scout out some more players. We are doing terrible. So far, we have 2 wins in our first 15 games this season. Goddamn. Okay, so yeah, McDaniel, or not McDaniel, Belanger. I don't know why I said McDaniel. McDaniel's not as high, it looks like. He might be a solid player in a later round. He's definitely not a first overall pick-worthy player. Jimenez, yeah, he's not looking too good either, to be honest. Let's cancel those guys both out. But Herschel Belanger looks like an absolute beast as a closer. He might be. Like, he might be as high as a 66 at 21, which is not great, but a 76 at 21, imagine, and 95 potential. Like, he definitely has good potential if our scouts are right, which I definitely trust our pitching scout, since he had like 90-something scouting. So yeah, Herschel Belanger, really solid pitcher there, or closer at least. Let's go to the next starting pitcher that we could find that's kind of youngish. Let's do Roger Tomlinson. He's supposed to go early on, apparently. And then let's assign some infielding prospects. Let's get Norm Novak scouted because we could use a shortstop. And then let's see what else we got here. First baseman again. I don't really need to scout out first baseman probably, but because we got one guy already. But let's scout out Mike Perkins. Why not? And let's go through another week. We should actually look at the positions we need first. Chavez has been injured. That's nobody important. Let's just go auto on him. I don't really care about him. He's not an important prospect. Let's go auto utilize on that guy again. And we'll take a look at our prospect stats after every month as well. So yeah, this might be a little bit of a long one. Norm Novak might be a beast. He might be a beast as a shortstop, which would be awesome to take at number 1. So he might be high on my priority list if that potential and that overall stays the same. Tomlinson also might be a good starting pitcher prospect. And then Perkins looking solid so far. Let's go another week, and then we'll be almost at the end of the month. So we'll probably take a look at our prospect stats soon. Giants are offering us a trade. We do not make trades in this mode because it is a draft to glory. So thank you, Giants. I'm not even going to take a look at your trade offer. Let's assign some players. And yeah, Novak is looking decent. He's looking really solid. So Norm Novak might be one of the higher up guys on my priority list this year so far. Perkins doesn't have a high ceiling, but he still could be actually pretty solid for a later round. Because he looks like he might have a good overall at 18, and he might have a good potential as well. So if we want to have like some another good first baseman, Perkins might be it. And then yeah, Tomlinson, he's not fully scouted yet, but he might be a good pitching prospect too. Let's go by positions we don't have prospects at right now. Let's go MLB rank, and let's go each position. So we don't have a lot of relievers. So let's get Albert Rodriguez scouted. Actually, these guys are already scouting pitchers, so we can't. Let's change prospects on him. This is infielders we're trying to scout out first. So you're not supposed to go to 58th. I'm looking for people that's supposed to go in the first round potentially. Okay, so Kevin Kyle, you're gonna get scouted out since you're a second baseman. And then we're going to scout out another positional player. Let's go. You're not first round. You are first round. Luis Amasa. So there's definitely going to be maybe a good shortstop in the first round. To me, it looks like we might be able to find ourselves a shortstop, which is nice. Training-wise, I'll just keep leaving it. Oh, apparently Ozzy Cardenas is hot right now. Don't want to take a look at his stats just yet. Actually, I should, yeah, because we have 2 games. Actually, let's go right to the end of the month and then take a look at their stats. Let's take a look at our prospects that we care about stats. So, Garth House so far, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That might be the craziest stat line I've seen. He's only played a 0.1 of an inning, but he got lit up. He's got an 18 whip and a 135 ERA. But he is growing, so that's good. But my God, poor Garth. Is he getting used as a reliever? I hope not. Yeah, he might be getting used as a reliever. Let me actually make sure he's in the pitching rotation in triple. Because I do not want him to be a reliever. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's used as a reliever right now. There we go. Let's take him off the reliever part and put him as a starting pitcher like he's supposed to be. Maybe I should have actually set up the lineups myself. Oh, well. Let's see if that helps him out a little bit, because, damn, that's a rough start. What else we got here for prospects I drafted? Cardenas is batting at 351 in Double-A right now. And, yeah, he's got 4 home runs and 11 RBIs so far. He's still at 71, but that's good to see. Obviously, he'll be in triple probably pretty soon because of his contact hitting. We also drafted Fletcher Hoffman. He's off to a cold start in Double-A, which is not great. 1 home run, 6 RBI, batting at 211. Steve Schneider's doing really good in Double, as he should be. 6 home runs and 16 RBIs already for him, and he's batting at 302. Well, he's solid. OPS is at an 887. That's good. Then we also have a couple other prospects. Ollie Gelman's batting at 282. That's pretty solid. And then Bill O'Donnell's cold as well, batting a 183. I might send Bill O'Donnell and Fletcher Hoffman down to Single-A, but then again, I don't think they record stats down there, do they? So I think I'm going to leave it for now, but let's continue scouting out stuff. This might be another 40-minute episode just because it's taken us a while to scout all these players out. And also take a look at our younger guys that we've already drafted. So, yeah, Tomlinson's going to be a solid starting pitcher, I think, as long as our scouts are accurate. So we'll get those guys still scouted out, and let's assign another pitching prospect. Let's go to relief pitchers. Let's go to, who was it that I was looking at relief pitcher-wise? Oh, yeah, it was Albert Rodriguez. Yeah, let's get him scouted out. Wouldn't be a bad option to find ourselves a good reliever. So, Yeah, we're doing terribly this year again, which is good. More high up picks, the better, but hopefully we hit on those picks. So Imasa is a solid shortstop. He's not the best shortstop in the world. He's probably not worth a first overall pick, but he might have an 87 as a ceiling, and he might be a solid overall at 18. So maybe we want to still take a guy like this if we have the chance. And Rodriguez is not scouted out yet fully, and Kyle is looking decent. He's looking decent. He's 95% scouted, so I am going to remove him already as well. And Imasa. Because if they're like 95% scouted, I definitely trust my scouts a little bit. So let's get Garcia to scout out another infielding player that we don't have prospects for. So let's go to our... I guess we'll go to a left fielder since there is supposed to be a left fielder in the first round. Giancarlo Sixto. Cool name. And we will go with maybe the center fielder to scout out since he's also a projected first rounder. So let's do Brady Crow and scout him out. And let's go another week. I don't want to go to that. Goddamn. Oh, that's a prospect I don't care about. Don't care about you either. Some guy tore his ACL apparently. Jeez. Hopefully none of our top prospects get injured. Looking decent so far across the board. Not bad. Let's continue scouting those guys out. Hopefully we find ourselves a good prospect. And we do not have a valid 4 lineups. Let's just go auto-fix lineups. And let's auto-utilize that. Okay, scouting assignments again. We should have these guys 100% scouted almost. Giancarlo Sixto was looking like a really good left fielder. So if we want to complete our outfield in a sense, because we already have a center fielding prospect that has good potential and a right fielder, Giancarlo Sixto might be really good. He might be really good. So we will cancel that on him. Brady Crow is not looking the best for a high up pick. So probably not worth it to take him. I'm going to remove him as well. And Albert Rodriguez, will still let him get scouted out a little bit more. Let's just keep going through positional players here. I think we almost got most of the first round scouted out for players, potentially. Just going to make sure on that front. This guy's supposed to be a first rounder, but center fielders don't seem to be that good, in my opinion. Yeah, I think we're going to just assign them to players in the later areas. So let's just go to all prospects. And let's just go to the back of this list and find random 99 potential players. So if there's a 99 potential player here, maybe we'll scout them out. Not rating. I want to make sure they're actually have a draft ranking still, though. Maybe not. Because we definitely want to find out players for later rounds. 99 potentials. Let's see. No 99 potentials down here. There's one that's a closer. We want to find infielders right now. George Pinero. Sure, we'll get him scouted out. And we will go to the back of this list again here. Or was this guy, but he's a closing pitcher, so I should probably use my scouting pitcher scout for that. 99 closer again. 99 closer again. His might be a good draft to get a closer in. But is a closer worth a first overall pick in your guys' eyes if we have the first overall pick? There's another one. Yeah, there's not a lot of 99 potential infielders. There's a 95, another shortstop. So I'm feeling like it's a good shortstop draft in a good closing pitcher draft. That's what I'm getting from looking at it. Could be wrong with that, though. Let's auto fix that. Let's auto fix that. Make sure we're looking at the right things. There you go. And we're at the start of a new month, so let's take a look at our prospects again. See how good they're doing. Garth Howe is not doing too well, to be honest, in AA. But he is growing, so I don't really care too much about his stats. As long as he's getting growth, that's the most important thing. What else we got here? Cardenas still hitting a 328 in AA. Jeez. Yeah, that's really good. He has not grown at all so far, really. Actually, he is growing in some areas, but his overall hasn't gone up, basically, is the thing. Fletcher Hoffman batting at 240 now, so he's improving. He's up to a 53 overall. That's actually pretty good. Let's let him keep growing in those areas, because he might end up being a solid, fast-growing player. And Steve Schneider's doing really good in Double-A. Not a surprise, though. At 283, he's got 14 homers and 43 RBIs, up to a 64 overall. 913 OBS is also really good. We also have Ollie Gelman, who's now batting at 229. It's not great. He's growing, though, at least. He's got a 599 OPS. And Bill O'Donnell is batting at 238. And how's his OPS? Looking at 634. So Bill O'Donnell has been the better of the two outfielders right now. Not bad. Not bad at all. Did we assign our scouting? Yes, we did. And these guys aren't fully scouted yet, except for Rodriguez, who might be a solid reliever. But, yeah, I feel like this is a closing pitcher draft. Let me go to the back of this list again and find those 99 closers. Get them scouted out like Dennis Lake, because I am curious on those guys. Because they're not rated yet in terms of actually going in a draft, but they might end up being pretty solid pitchers to go in the draft. Let's auto-utilize Edgar Rodriguez. Glenn Hall's been injured. Auto-utilize him. Check out our scouting assignments again. Yeah, this is going to be a long episode. Apologize, boys. Ronaldo Ramirez might be a solid shortstop, but more of a project shortstop, but still might be a good late-round pick if we wanted to take a shortstop later in the draft. Let me just go through this list, see who we need to scout out. There's a lot of pitchers. What was it? Yeah, Garcia could do also pitchers, so we'll let him scout out some pitchers for a change. You're going to be pretty solid as well. Yeah, Pinero might be a really good project shortstop. We'll let him get scouted out for another extra 5% just to be safe. So let's get those guys continue scouted out. But we are getting closer to the draft, which is good. Obviously, we're going to stop like the day beforehand. So Pinero, yeah, Pinero is looking pretty good as like a potential shortstop. Could be a late round pick in a sense just because he's a project player, but he honestly might be a first rounder. Our scouts have him ranked at 13, and the MLB did not have him ranked. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. So let's take out Pinero and give another infielding prospect that we didn't scout yet. There's a lot of pitchers in this first round. Like, I mean, almost the entire first round looks like pitchers. We'll get Ben Trulio scouted out. Why not? Olivio is looking like maybe a top 10 pick. And Dennis Lake is looking like maybe a steal as well of a closer. He's 55% scouted so far. Might be a project closer, but still looking pretty good. How much weeks do we have before the draft? Only a couple weeks, so at the end of next week, I guess, is when I'll take a look at and show you guys all the players we scouted out fully, if I can. Just so you guys have a little bit of a list of who we have scouted out. So, let's see. Olivio is looking actually, yeah, pretty solid, maybe. We'll change prospects on him. Yeah, I honestly don't know who we're going to take if we have the first overall pick right now. Let's get Kevin Towers scouted out, and those other guys need to be scouted out a little bit longer. But yeah, Dennis Lake is looking like a good closer. Our scouts have him ranked at number 5 right now, and he was not ranked. So I guess that's why you need to scout out the later parts of the draft. Let's go to this last week. No. Auto on that. And yeah, this is the last day to scout out some players. So let me remove everybody from this list. Dennis Lake is looking like a really good closer prospect. But let me just remove everybody from this. We're not going to scout anybody out the last week. Or maybe I will still scout out players. But let me show you guys what we've already scouted out so far. Yeah, recently scouted. Oh, it doesn't show. But let me show you guys anyways. Let's just go through this entire list of MLB prospects. So there's Herschel Belanger, who looks like a really good closer. Let me go by each position first, actually. Starting pitcher-wise, Roger Tomlinson we scouted out. We also scouted out Emil Olivio. So those guys look pretty solid. Not sure if they're first overall pick worthy, but still. Our scouts have them ranked at 7 and 10. Then we head to relief pitcher-wise. We only scouted out one reliever. He's not worth the first overall pick, but he might be a solid player to take if he falls somehow to another round. Oh, this guy's name is Jack Ryder. Isn't that a name of a movie or no? Jack Ryder. Let me look that up for a second. Yeah, wait. No, it's an actor's name. Jack Ryder. Huh. Why did I recognize this Jack Ryder thing? Oh, it's a person in Batman. Huh. Okay, well, I didn't know about that. That's funny. That's why I maybe recognize that name. But there is... yeah, there's the relievers, catcher-wise. Or not catcher-wise, closing pitcher-wise, goddamn. Herschel Belanger looks like a beast. I didn't scout out any of these other closers, though, which sucks. Kind of wish I did scout out Jay Chu. So I'll probably assign him to it for, like, the last week. But catcher-wise, Bryant McDaniel, not fully scouted, but still later. Maybe a good solid pick, but not for a first overall pick if we have that. Looks like we're staying at number 3, though. This guy's definitely not worth the first overall pick. Kevin Kyle might be a solid second baseman, but I don't know if he's worth first overall. We didn't scout out any third baseman. Shortstop-wise, we're looking like there's going to be some good shortstops in this draft. If our scouts are accurate. We scouted out quite a bit of them. And then left fielding-wise, Giancarlo Sixto looks like he's going to be a really good outfielder. And we have Crow and Trulio. And right fielding-wise, we have Jimenez that we scouted out. So let me just assign the rest of these guys to potential players, and then we'll get the last week simmed up until the draft, or the day before the draft, basically. So let's get these guys to assign some other players. Let's just go with third baseman because we have not scouted out any third baseman. And for you, we'll go with another third baseman. Why not? And let's get those guys scouted out a little bit at least over the next week. Let's go to the let's go to the Friday, just to play it safe. Let's auto-fix those lineups again. And finally, to wrap up this episode, since we can't take a look at any more scouting stuff, let's take a look at our young prospects. And damn, okay, Ronaldo Hernandez got injured badly. Let's take a look at our prospects again to end this episode off because we're around 40 minutes. So Garth Howe is doing better, but he's still kind of struggling unless his FIP is good. Does it have FIP in AA though? It doesn't. His WAR is a 1 though, which is good. He's got a above 0 WAR, so he's been playing solid, I guess. His ERA is pretty solid. His WHIP is a little high, but that's okay. And yeah, he's up to a 66 overall, so that's pretty good. Good to see some growth. In terms of other prospects, Cardenas is now batting at 280, so he's definitely dropped off a little bit, but he's now up to a 72 overall. And yeah, he's growing all over the place, which is awesome. His speed is going down, which is interesting, but at least he's growing everywhere else. So that's huge. How's his OPS? Is 782. Not bad. How's his batting WAR? 0.8. Good stuff, Cardenas. Good stuff. Ben Gentleman's not ours. Fletcher Hoffman and batting at 223. He's got 6 homers and 26 RBIs up to a 54. He's growing everywhere as well. That's good to see. 609 OPS isn't the best, but still not bad. His WAR, though, is a negative 0.8, so he's been kind of struggling, it looks like, but that's okay. Steve Schneider now batting at 257. He's got 18 home runs and 59 RBIs. He's up to a 63 overall so far. He's got an 820 OPS as well, which is great. And his batting WAR is a 0.9, so he's been pretty good. That's nice to see. And outfielding prospect-wise, Ollie Gentleman's batting a 221. He's got 2 homers and 20 RBIs. He's got 23 steals. Yeah, I forgot his speed is that good, so no wonder he's stealing the base a lot. 582 OPS, not great. And his batting WAR is 0.2, so at least he's been positive in that front. And finally, Bill O'Donnell, batting at 265, 3 homers, 25 RBIs, up to a 50 overall. Getting some growth mostly everywhere, which is good. 722 OPS, which is great. And his batting WAR is also at 0.8. So it looks like all of the guys that we've drafted are doing pretty solid so far for the most part, which is always good. Let me actually take a look for a second at league leaders and swap this over to triple just to see if any of our guys are leading and double. So the Rockland Midhounds, I think, is our team. Yeah, it looks like it. The Rockhounds. It's nobody important. Bill O'Donnell's down there in batting average and 12th, not bad. Hits, Steve Schneider's up there, which is good. Bill O'Donnell's up there in doubles, triples, Schneider's up there, and Bill O'Donnell's up there. Home runs, Steve Schneider's leading this part, the Texas League, in home runs. That's great, with 18 homers. The next closest guy has 17, and then after that, it's a big drop-off. So good stuff from Steve Schneider. RBI-wise, Steve Schneider, runs Steve Schneider. Looks like a lot of our prospects are up there in a lot of areas, which is great. Pitching-wise, looks like Howe is not up there, which is kind of a surprise. But oh well. So that's for double. Triple, obviously, we don't have any prospects down there, so... Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Vancouver Rain Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to the draft. We'll hopefully find ourselves some good more prospects in specific areas. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what we could grab up. And hopefully a lot of those young guys that are in the system are continuing to do well. So anyways, down below, and I'll see you guys next time.